The AI tool doesn't know what good looks like. It knows what common looks like. If you're thinking clearly about the problem, it'll help you build the right thing fast. If you're not, it'll help you build the wrong thing fast. Same tool. The difference is you. So here's the uncomfortable version, and it's the whole reason for this episode. The tool is not going to make you a better developer. It can't. That's not the job it does. I'm John. This is the Thinking Engineer. One channel, one bet. AI can write the code now, but somebody still has to understand it. That somebody is the job that isn't going away. So last time we watched a good developer end up understanding nothing he built. Today, I want to go one layer deeper, into you. Why leaning on these tools can quietly stop you from growing. What better even means once typing is free. And the thing that actually does move the needle. And one quick thing before we get into it, I read every comment on these. The yes exactly ones and the John, you're dead wrong ones especially. So if something lands or it doesn't, tell me down below. We're working this out together. Let's start with the trap, because it's a comfortable one. You sit down with Claude Code and you describe what you want, and 20 minutes later there's a working feature on your screen. It feels incredible. It feels like you just got better at your job, and that feeling is the trap. Because something did get better in that moment. It just wasn't you. Your output got better. Your speed went through the roof. But speed is not skill, and output is not understanding. You moved faster across ground you didn't actually learn. It's a difference between driving to the top of a mountain and climbing it. You get the same view in that photo, but only one of you understands the mountain completely. There's an idea I think about a lot from Ira Glass, of all people. He called it the gap. When you start out, your taste is good before your skill is. You can tell that your own work isn't as good as the thing you admire, and that gap, that frustration, is what pulls you forward. You close it by doing the work over and over, badly, until one day it isn't bad anymore. Now look at what AI does to that picture. It doesn't close the gap. It hides it. It produces work at a level your taste can recognize as decent, but your hands could never have achieved on their own. So the frustration that used to drive you disappears. And the daily reps that used to close the gap, you just stop doing them. The output looks like a senior wrote it. You did not become a senior. And the thing that would have made you one is the exact thing you skipped. Here's where it gets personal for me. So let me be straight with you. Most of my education came from my own mistakes. 15 years in, and almost everything I actually know, I know because I broke it first. I wrote the slow query that took the site down. I built the abstraction that everyone hated. I shipped the bug, traced it for 2 days, and finally understood the thing I thought I'd already understood. The struggle wasn't in the way of the learning. The struggle was the learning. And that's what I worry about. Watching how we use these tools now. When the AI removes the friction, it doesn't just save you time, it quietly removes the teacher. The hard part. The part where you sit there confused and have to build the model in your own head before the code will work. That part is doing something to you. Skip it every time, and yeah, you'll ship faster this quarter, but the version of you that could have handled the gnarly problem 2 years from now never gets built. You optimized away your own apprenticeship. Now back to that first line, because it's the load-bearing one. The model knows what common looks like, not what good looks like. And I want to be fair here because common is genuinely useful. The most common way to do a thing is usually fine, often even right. And getting fine in 20 seconds is a real gift. I use it every day. But picture what the model actually is. It read a planet's worth of code and learned the average of it. When you ask it for something, it hands you back the middle of the distribution, the median answer. And good code, the code you actually admire, almost never lives in the middle. It's a deviation. It's somebody who understood this specific domain well enough to do the uncommon thing on purpose. Because the common thing was wrong here. The model can't make that call for you. It doesn't know your domain. It's pulling toward the average, while the whole point of expertise is knowing exactly when to leave it. If you can't tell common from good, you will ship common forever. And you'll think it's good, because it compiles, and the tests pass, and it looks like everything else you've ever seen. So if the tool won't make you better, what will? And this is the part I actually care about, so stick with me. Two things, and they're the same two things the good developers were already doing before any of this showed up. The first is understanding over producing. Stop measuring yourself by how much you shipped and start measuring yourself by how much of it you could explain out loud to a skeptical room. Read the code the AI gives you like you're going to be quizzed on it, because someday you will be, probably at 2 a.m. Trace why it made the choices it made. Use the tool to go fast on the things you already understand cold, and force yourself to do the hard part by hand on the things you're still trying to learn. That's not nostalgia. That's just keeping the teacher employed. The second is thinking clearly before you ever open the chat window. This is where architecture earns its keep. Domain-driven design, clean architecture, the solid principles, all of it. I think of it less as a set of rules and more as a way of getting honest about the problem before you let the machine run at it. Because here's the thing about an amplifier. It makes you whatever you feed it louder, and it does not care whether what you fed it was any good. Feed it muddy thinking, you get a beautiful, fast, well-tested mess. Feed it a clean model of the problem in the language the business actually uses, and the same tool that was building junk for the developer next to you is suddenly building exactly the right thing for you. Same tool, you're the variable. You were always the variable. So let me ask you something, and I read every one of these, I mean it. When has a tool made you faster without making you better? The feature you shipped in an afternoon and couldn't explain a week later? The moment you caught yourself letting the AI think so you didn't have to? Tell me the story down below. Not to beat yourself up, I've done all of it. I just think the more of us who say it out loud, the faster we figure out how to actually grow in this new setup. And if you got something out of this, if you're walking away looking at that 20-minute feature a little differently, do me a favor and tap like. It genuinely helps the right people find this. Subscribe, and you'll be here for the next one, where we get into how to understand a code base you didn't write. The tools get faster. You don't have to coast on that. The thinking is still the whole job. And the thinking is still yours. I'll see you in the next one. Always think before you commit and push.